Hi there, Dr. Gary here on the road. We sell dental practices nationwide. We are dental practice brokers. We've been doing this for 13 years, and I was a dentist for 25. All right, let's see what this morning's crisis brought us. Today's topic is 7:20 a.m. Buyer panics. May want to pull out of the deal last second. We're going to get into this. Before we do, as you know, we're in 10 employees now. We're in over 20 states, and we are available to you. And we also have 2 CPA accountants. We're available to you 363 days a year. We take off Christmas and Easter. Call us. We're available from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. virtually every day. All right? We're at your service. Now, before we get into everything, just a few bits of information. Our phone number is 201-663-0935. And our website is dentalpracticeguide.com or nationwidedentalpracticebrokers.com. So please give us a call. We're always available to help you. The information we're going to give you today is for entertainment purposes. It's not legal or business advice. Okay? If you're thinking about selling to one of the large DSOs, please call us because we work with them all the time. And we know who the best ones are, who's having trouble, what the issues are, who the people to communicate with, who takes forever to go to closing, who gives a letter of intent that basically takes several months to go to the closing table, who's having financial trouble. There's a lot going on. And who's changed. Some of them buy practices, single practices, and others that used to buy a single practice now are changing their platform only to buy multiple practices at once. So everything's changing. They pay our commission majority of the time, so there's no commission to the seller. And when you work with us, we will often, based on criteria, get your legal fees reimbursed upon successful closing. We've done that several times. If it's a large DSO you're selling to. Okay, what happens this morning? 7:20 this morning. We're supposed to close, I think, tomorrow. 7:20, buyer sends me a note, text message. Urgent, call me immediately. You don't want to get those messages. But I'm prepared for them. I am prepared for chaos. I'm prepared for problems. And I draw upon my many years of experience, 13 years, hundreds of transactions, team of 10 employees, and I was a dentist for 25 years. I think I know how to relate. So what happened was the buyer is panicking because we have an issue about insurance post-closing. Now, the exact details is hard for me to say because it's a confidential thing right now, but the buyer is panicking because of this issue. Now, the seller's attorney has done some dental closings, but is not a pro at it. I wouldn't call them a pro. They've done some. But they don't have the knowledge of what the standard procedure is post-closing dealing with insurance. This is a touchy issue because it's sort of an unwritten rule. I can't get into it right now. But the fact is the buyer's panicking, calls me. I'm available 24/7 just about. I pick up the phone, I call them back. What's the issue? This insurance issue post-closing in the dental office has become a major burden for the buyer. What the issue is, again, I know I'd like to give you the details. I can't. You gotta speak to me privately. But the fact is, the buyer is panicking so much that they pull out of the deal. Simple as that. May pull out of the deal because this insurance issue is such a major thing. Now, there's common accepted practices when you're selling a dental practice, and some of the things aren't technically written in a contract, but it's an understanding. It's been done for so long, whatever the understanding is, it's confidential, I can talk to you privately, But whatever the understanding is, it's done. And everybody knows. Buyer's attorneys are excellent, outstanding, doing it for 15 years. You know, so I had to get on the phone this morning with the sellers and explain, look, this is how it works. This issue about insurance post-closing. Historical, this is what happens. And they try to explain what happened. And the sellers tell me, well, my attorney said that's not going to work. I said, well, it's been working for everybody else for 13 years that I'm doing it, hundreds of transactions. It shouldn't be an issue. Dentists are successful, works out well. Success rate is 99.75%, as proven by bank statistical numbers. So it does work. So you can't tell me it doesn't work. And I'm experienced in this, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I tried to explain the mechanics of this, how it works, what the situation is, and went through it step by step. The seller kept going back at me. Oh, no, my attorney said it doesn't work that way. I said, well, listen, I'm dealing with the buyer attorneys who've done this for 15 years. I'm doing it for 13 years. This is the way it's always worked. It is normal course of action. It's not written in the contract. I understand that. It's an understanding. Again, I apologize. I can't get into exact details. This is confidentiality. It's something that is an understanding, but it's sort of a gray area. And again, I'll talk to you about privately. So I had to talk to this seller. I said, look, here's how it works. This is the experience. We're going to run into the same problem because this buyer is about to pull out. He wants to pull out. It's not going to work for him. If the understanding, we can't get through this understanding. So I try to explain, and because I've been doing this so long, and I explained the buyer's attorneys have been doing this so long, that's where a broker comes in. I draw on my experience for 13 years, 25 years as a dentist, 13 years as a broker. And I try to explain, here's the mechanics, here's what's happened. I can give you a name of other doctors that have done this at the same time and explain what they went through. And we can go from there. This is how it is. This is what's happening. You've got to understand it. So if you don't understand it, we can get into more details. But the fact was, as a broker, I am available. I have the experience. And that experience I want to share with you. Okay, I can reflect on previous deals over 13 years, how well it's worked, this understanding about insurance. And I could draw on that experience immediately. And then I reflect to the attorneys have been doing this 15, 18 years. They could draw on their experience. Immediately, this is why you need dental attorneys. Hundreds of times I've said it on these tapes. This is why you need a dental broker. Been through this multiple times. Okay? There's reasons. Now, the buyer and the seller can't discuss this. They're not getting along about this issue. They simply are not getting along. So if you try to sell your practice A without a broker in the middle, or you got the attorneys, and the attorneys are one separation from it. They can't be in the middle talking to both parties. That is, your attorney can't talk to the buyer, and the buyer's attorney can't talk to the seller. That's just the way it is. You need an in-between person in the middle. That's where we come in, and this is case in point. And experience. We're here to help you as a buyer, as a seller. I'm here. And it may be only one question, one issue to deal with during the whole transaction that's not working out. That's why you need experienced people in this. You try to wing it on your own, or your friend did a deal by handshake with no attorneys using some boilerplate contract. Everything worked out great until there's a problem. Now think about this. You're panicking. You don't have attorneys, or you may not have a broker. I don't know what you have. And you're going to handle this? Well, the buyer doesn't want to talk to you. What are you going to do then? The buyer's upset, the seller's upset at the buyer's upset. The only people is maybe the attorneys can handle it if they're dental attorneys that know what they're doing. I don't know. I'm not sure what the situation is here. Well, I do know the situation. I know the one attorney's not experienced. The others are years of it, hundreds and hundreds of transactions experienced. So we have a problem here. And we hope that we're going to resolve this. This morning I got on the phone with the seller and explained this is it. I think I'm beginning to get a little light at the end of the tunnel, but it's still a headache. Then I went back to the buyer and explained how I think I'm getting somewhere. Let me see what I can do. Then I went to the attorneys, the buyer's attorneys, who are very well established, know what they're doing. We talked it over the phone. It is sort of an emotional issue too. Not everything is cut and dry, contracts, You got to be there. You got to be there for the buyer, be there for the seller, explain the situation. You got to be in the middle. Great attorneys. That's just another day. Happens all the time, chaos. All right? So thank you for listening. Hit the subscribe button because we're doing a ton of videos. I think we're close to 400 now. So it's always a different day, always a different deal, always a different problem. And we have the experience, the team to handle this. And we're here to help you. Let's stay in touch. Thank you so much. Bye now.